How many of us have them friends?
9 to 5.
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 Good.
Trying to keep black people.
You need to be doing some work.
It's a full-time job keeping black people in order in this country. I tell you what. But
you definitely about to have a cabinet position in 2021, huh?
Yeah, me and
if it goes red.
No, Kamala's
No, I'm talking about if things go red.
No, me and Auntie Kamala. Anyways, episode 145 of the Black Independent Voice Podcast. I am your host, Shabazz. I'm joined here by Brother Muhammad from LA, and also great brother Amir from the District of Columbia. Brothers, how y'all doing in this blessed Sunday?
Hold on.
Stand alive.
We in here.
Hold on, brother. Just hold on.
Man, another fucking week. Another week. We're back in this bitch. 9 to 5 podcast. If you don't already follow us on every single social media platform that has ever existed, do that right now at the 9 to 5 podcasts with an S. On Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Yeah, we're back here, Danny, Kyle, and Torrance. Friends, how are we doing? Are we still alive?
I'm exhausted. I had to take a little power nap this afternoon. I'm just so tired, honestly. But I went out for the first time since quarantine started, you know. Our line brother Chris was in town, and he asked if we could go get brunch. So Paige and I went out with him to brunch, had a nice socially distanced little outdoor space or whatever. Or actually, we were indoors, but they had outdoor space too. But it was comfortable. Like y'all said, kind of the same thing with y'all's experiences before with the QR codes for menus, and the waiters only came around when they took your order and then when they gave you the check. But it was nice. It was comfortable. I don't think I'll make a habit out of it, but it was nice to do for the first time since early March, probably.
Yeah,
it's been a long periodically time.
Need it, bro. Me and Ashley went somewhere today real quick, and I think this is not to get super whatever. It's become political, but fuck it. Just like how much you go outside and stuff. I feel like everything can be done within reason. And for me, and for most people, I feel like, all right, if you're gonna go out to eat, maybe don't do it like 4 times back-to-back days, so that if you do feel something in the next week or 3 days or so, you can kind of like, okay, let me quarantine or whatever.
Yeah, be responsible with it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do feel like this shit isn't going away for until at least the next year and a half.
Do y'all have indoor dining in Chicago or Illinois right now, or limited indoor dining?
It's limited. I know for a fact, and most bars have like the windows open and stuff.
Yeah.
So I honestly have no idea what this.
Okay, I was gonna say it's gonna be interesting to see what y'all do when it gets cold in like a month for y'all in Chicago.
Right. I mean, it's gonna be just very limited quantity, and honestly, in Chicago, trying to go out to eat in like good places, the wait is already crazy, bro. Like 30 minutes, 40 minutes for places that you could just walk up to.
Yeah. Get your stuff and go.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like at a certain point we do have to go outside and at least try to keep some form of an economy and like a bar.
Yeah. I'm just hopefully
fuck the economy. Just do something different. Like get out the house.
Yeah, just to switch up like your routine. Because I definitely noticed like when I stay in the house for like 3 days or so, like my mood like definitely starts to get like a little sour. Paige is always like, go outside, bro. Like, she's like, when was the last time you were outside? I was like, 2 days ago.
When's the last time you went for a walk? You're overdue.
No, but legitimately.
Oh, it's the same thing. It's for me. It's working out. It's all those things where I'm like, if I don't go and do something, bro, I'm toast. So trust me, I live with someone who is getting her PhD and all this kind of shit, and even her She's like, bro, we got to go outside and do shit.
Yeah.
Also, it's like, okay, I'm sitting at home, but half of us are still forced to go into the office and do all these other things too. So it's like, at a certain point, we all just have to take calculated, measured risk, and also minimize the risk of others too. Like, wear your mask inside.
Yep.
Hand sanitize as much as possible. For me, like, if I go out to eat, I try not to eat until I'm like home, or I can like really wash my hands, not touching my phone in between.
Oh yeah, the days of like eating in the car is over.
That's the yeah.
So it's other little small things that I'm trying to be way more mindful of.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like even when I picked up Chick-fil-A the other day, I wanted the fries so bad, but I was like,
Sometimes you got to do is just like do it no hands, just like apple pick, like put
like
the.
Well, I keep like a thing of hand sanitizer like in the car too.
I mean,
so
I do too. I do
just in case.
too.
But still, I don't want
like,
the air around.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to like open a bag up,
gotta crumble that bag up and leave it crumbled up until I get back in the crib.
And I hate that too, because you know, if the fries is real hot, they get real steamy, and the fries don't be as crispy and crunchy.
And they be all mushy when you get
they
them.
They be a little mushy. I'm like, oh, but
it's an art.
I'm trying to stay alive.
Fries have never been meant to be transported.
No, not like that.
Well, they don't even, if you do like a catering order at Chick-fil-A, they don't even do fries.
That makes sense.
They refuse because the product is stepped on when it gets delivered.
Yeah, they said, I'm sorry, we can't give it to you like this.
Magic at first, it's been cut up now.
Like, you hoes may do that shit on your watch, but not on our watch. We don't do that.
Not on this racist land.
Okay, not on this homophobic and racist. What? You think we gonna give you like not quality fries? As homophobic and racist as we are? Absolutely not. You'll get the best fries you ever had. I had a conversation yesterday. I'm gonna go just real quick. Ain't nobody asked Chick-fil-A to make the damn best chicken sandwich. This racist ass homophobic chicken. Yes, this is some gay hating, black hating chicken. But guess what? That season is delicious.
They make you eat them in pieces. You can't put it all in your mouth. You gotta rip it off and tear it.
And it's like, it is great white meat. I ain't never had white meat that juicy before.
Not never. They got.
Never had.
They put in crack or something in that chicken because I don't understand how it has such a. The only thing that has a stronger grip on the black community might be Hennessy. Honestly, like I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're like, I don't know if it's vampires in the back making that shit, just like pale white people.
Somebody doing something. I don't know if it's chicken. Let's talk about that.
Shout out to Chick-fil-A, shout out to racism, gang, and homophobicness. That's what's up. Any other updates with our lives? Are we feeling good? Yes, are we surviving? Nice.
Yep. Barely.
I've been interviewing places finally.
Very nice.
It's been great, man. I've enjoyed every bit of it.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Okay. See, there goes. See?
Just in case anyone's listening. No, bro. When I don't have to interview anymore, I'm going to be so excited. Interviewing. No, the thing is this. Interviewing for jobs you don't want is the worst. There's jobs that I'm interviewing right now that I really genuinely want. And there's jobs that I'm doing because I need to be a responsible human being.
Oh no, absolutely. Because I've definitely had like those phone interviews with like recruiters or like the first phone screening for a job I don't care about.
Right.
And then when you get to like the questions part, you just start asking questions like to make them not want to bring you back.
Right. So where the bitches at? So if I could, I looked on LinkedIn. There was 600 people. How many of those 600 are the bitches? Specifically.
What's your nigga to bitch ratio? Because I'm kind of allergic to the workplace if there's too many of these niggas. So you gotta have more bitches than niggas or else they ain't gonna work for me. So what can you do for me? It's more my question. What can you do for me?
Who's the highest paid person in the company? Okay, I'm gonna need 20 more than that.
Right. So
at least.
Y'all be blowing down at work or y'all be chilling? What y'all? So
I like Hennessy. So
y'all gonna tell me if I made it to the next round?
So I know how y'all got water coolers in your break room.
Right.
You ever got a Hennessy cooler? Ever heard of that?
I pride myself on being innovative.
On the
I
week.
bring innovative, different thinking to companies I
Hey
work at.
man, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do for y'all, man. Like that's why you gotta hire me. So when's the next round?
Your name is Cornelius. That's a lame ass name. But anyway, this shit look tight. Why do I want to work here? Man, shit, I saw some bad hoes on LinkedIn. I
said, damn.
I said, y'all hiring? I said, shit. Niggas making money. I said, I told my look. So it was crazy. You asked. I told my homeboy. I said, hey, look. I said, damn. I ain't playing.
Oh my God, you need help.
I'm gonna do what's in my resume.
My resume.
My resume.
My resume.
For my resume, you can see.
As you can
15 years of retail experience. No, yeah, this all right. This person, hopefully, I get the job that I want, not the one that I need.
That is true.
The story is not.
Jesus. Wait, hold on. Let's brand it on that. Hopefully I get the job that I want, not the one. Hey, God. Hey, let's hear that. Heard that in the back? You heard up there? All right, cool. We good. We're here.
Yes,
sometimes you got to remind the universe because I'm still asking the universe a couple questions. And so,
waiting on some answers.
Yeah, me and God, I'm like, God, so what's up, universe? Like, are y'all missing?
Well, the postal service is slowed down, so his response it's
tied to the postal service.
Yeah, it's the sort of machine between heaven and the U.S. got
3
torn
to 5
down,
business days, 7 to 10 business days.
Yeah,
I get it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So follow up with the sender, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah. So.
Good luck on that shit.
Yeah. No. Oh yeah. So I'm sorry. The dude asked me. He was like, "Oh, so why do you want to work here?" And I told this man I got laid off. All right. And I wanted to say, my nigga, because y'all gonna pay me money and I have bills. But I said it in a more eloquent way. So what I'm trying to say is, before I really go in and ruin all prospects of me ever getting employed, is that if you're ever interviewing somebody, don't ever fucking ask them during the pandemic why you want to work there.
Yeah, that's like, especially right now, that's there's 36 million people who are unemployed in this country. Why would you ask somebody, what do you think?
Right.
Like, come on.
I have so why do I want to work for this company? So rent is due.
It's
bills
always
need to be paid. I like y'all sign. Like, what you want me to say?
My dad always said that my sister and I had like very expensive habits. We like eating regularly, sleeping indoors, and wearing clothes on our back. And so it requires some money,
I'm gonna work good for y'all. I'm gonna work real good for y'all, but also
you can see from my resume that I do good work.
Okay.
Resume states. As a quick heads up, it's looking like my garage band is recording y'all's audio too.
Interesting.
So we might have to just use the Zoom audio.
Okay, well, we're gonna see.
Potentially to see,
You're the one that edits it anyway.
Yeah, or even the audio that's in that joint. And
if it, I don't want mine.
Sounds good
better than y'all's though. Like I hate when it sounds like it sounds like.
I see what you're saying.
I get what you mean.
Be great.
Yeah. I get it.
Anyways, let me make sure notes edited.
Black.
Yeah, shout out to people interviewing. Shout out to everybody that doesn't read the fucking room when they ask questions, because the thing is this. Okay, there's definitely within day jobs, not everybody's as extreme as I am of like really being passionate about something outside of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And some people do care about just working in a just somewhat of a plain Jane environment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, 95% of these employers or these companies are not creating the wheel. So for you to act like you're going to join Bad Boy in the 90s or fucking Google in the whatever 80s or the Apple in the 80s, it's like, bro, this is a means to an end for most of us, even you included. Interview
exactly.
So don't try to like act like this is like a once in a lifetime. Like, why do you want to work here? like, if anything, maybe ask what made you interested in joining it, and like preface it by saying, "Hey, I know you got laid off. I know it's a pandemic, and things are kind of rough for most of us. So, what made you at least interested in the company? Is there anything else?"
Like what made you click on this job description type?
Right.
Like you can work. Wording is very important.
Yeah, but asking me why I applied, like, bro, I really didn't want to be totally honest with you, but I had to. But I guess I'll try to be responsible at some point. Black History Fact of the Day.
Yes, on this day, Monday, when you're reading this, August 30. Actually, no, excuse me. Today, I am so sorry. I had a typo in my notes. On today, August 30th, in 1948, Chairman Fred Hampton was born. Activist and former leader, national leader of the Black Panther movement.
Yeah. The FBI killed him.
Bruh,
So did.
White people, and even as a black person, I still don't know the amount of fucked up things that this country has done to us.
It's a lot.
Just attempt to research some of the things that have Fred Hampton, for example. I mean,
It's all fake news.
Even the whole Black Panther Party. Look at some of the things that this country, the government of this country have done, while still allowing the KKK to be a thing and still allowing some of these bad apple police forces to still be a thing. Then to dismantle the Black Panther Party, and still allow some of these other institutions to, that's the yin and the yang to me, Black Panther and KKK, more or less, a roundabout way. White supremacy, and we're trying to do shit for niggas. And not to say that Black Panthers were trying to hang white people, because they weren't. But in the sense of, I'm looking out for everybody that looks like me. However you execute that was vastly different between the two parties. But ultimately, if I'm just a higher body of people looking at, all right, this is the probably most white shit you could possibly do. This is some very, very pro-Black shit you can do. And they dismantle Black Panthers in a snap, and the KKK is running the country damn near.
Gotcha. I get what you're saying there. I think the yin and the yang was throwing Torrance off a little bit, threw me off for a second. But I get where you got to and where you were.
Means.
Yeah, no.
Polar opposites to a degree.
I get what you were saying. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Also, there's a movie coming out about Fred Hampton and his downfall. Judas and the Messiah, I believe it's called, with Daniel Kaluuya. He's playing Fred Hampton, and Lakeith Stanfield is in it. It looks really, really good. It's supposed to come out next year, I think, at some point. But it's about time that his story is will get told on like a wider, broader basis.
Depressing.
That's why I'm just like, just sort of speaking, just like you said, Danny, it's just like one thing was dismantled, the other one is supported and almost praised in many spaces behind the scenes. So that's why I'm just like, America's just, we'll talk about this in a minute when a news segment, but it's just, well,
why don't we just hop right into it?
We might as well.
If they go and kill people, that's a whole different.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think this idea that, that white people with guns are allowed to have, or it's their right to have, but Black people with guns we need to be aware, we need to be careful, we need to protect ourselves. We're threat. Exactly, they're a threat. They're all these things, like that white man in Kenosha that went and shot up all them people.
And lock his bitch ass up too, because
she drove him there
and dropped his
and picked him up, didn't she?
In Illinois, as a gun-toting Negro in Illinois, it's not very easy to get a gun in Illinois, and especially I'm not totally, don't quote me on it. I don't know if even the gun they had was legal.
Are minors even allowed to have guns?
No. So in Illinois, you got to get your FOID. It's like an ID card. $10. You send it in. It takes typically 30 days, but with Corona, it took me like 2-3 months. That allows you to buy a gun, buy ammo, go to like a shooting range and shoot, and then have the gun at your crib and like use it for self-defense in the crib, like any domain that you're. I think you can maybe like own like a storefront and like there's laws around it, but like you know, I had mine. All I have now. I have my gun at the house. And to get your concealed carry, that's when you can have that shit on your hip, concealed, and go to the grocery store. You know, go anywhere that guns are allowed. You know, grocery store, movie theater, whatever, yada yada yada. And I think to get even the FOID, you have to be 21 years old and pass a background check. So even that part, I don't even think it was legal for him to even possess the gun.
Hold it in the fucking like you know.
Yeah.
Some like game rules where, like, you know, with hunting and stuff.
Yeah, in controlled environments.
Yeah, but I don't think that he was even legal for him to have possession of any firearm in that setting.
Especially across state lines at that point.
Exactly. So I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure even him, if he shot nobody, him and his punk ass mama should go to jail.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, both of them should.
If I tried as a fucking adult, I'm going to be so upset.
Yeah, I mean, he may not be. I don't think he will be, because why would they do that?
Right.
Why? You know what I mean? Like, what is justice? What is the justice system? It doesn't exist. There really is no, at least for me, no formal foundation of this is justice for all people. It's,
no.
You know, it definitely is clearly
justice
swayed.
for some.
Exactly. Because I know people, like, for example, you heard about old girl. What's her name? Lori Loughlin. What did she get?
2 months.
2 months.
2 months. Where people in other states, people put other people's addresses on to get their children in better school zones, and they're getting 7, 8, years in prison for that offense. Versus this bitch who is literally dismantling, and being, embezzling, corruption, and all that other shit. When it comes to admission, so it's just
about last podcast.
You said what?
Said all you got to do is do what I talked about in last podcast, is get your kid good enough to actually be on the team.
Just do the simple thing. Have them act. So that's the thing. For me, this country, racism is just absolutely just rearing its ugly head. Granted, we're in the thick of it. We're in the storm. It is. It definitely is not the worst it has ever been. And I hate when white people say that. I absolutely hate when white people say that race, it's the worst it's ever been in America.
It's pretty decent right now, honestly.
I'm gonna say honestly, if we want to keep it 100, like, shit's bad, but shit obviously and clearly has been worse. So don't say that. Stop saying that, people. Just stop that. So I don't know. For me, I'm trying to watch cartoons and listen to my favorite music and eat.
That was me this weekend.
Because there's nothing else. There's really truly nothing you can do with a system that has been in place for hundreds and hundreds of years besides follow it or rebel. And if you rebel, then you die, because the people with power are going to kill and have been killing people. These leaders who have been coming out and speaking out, and they've been shown up dead. Like, they just pop up dead in their car, they pop up dead in their house, but you know what I'm saying? Like clockwork. And it's just like, this really, you can continue to fight and, hopefully to live to see another day, or go all out and possibly have a target on your back from the fucking government. Like, let's not forget, Martin Luther King was one of the most wanted and, one of the most dangerous people on the FBI's list. So, like, what I mean? Like,
that's the whole, when people try to act like, even to bitch ass Brian Urlacher's point, it's like it's very interesting to me. I don't want to make this like a depressing podcast, because I feel like people try to listen to podcasts to get away from this a little bit. But even to Brian Urlacher's point, he tweeted shitting on the NBA. We'll talk about this later too, but shitting on the NBA players protesting when he each brought an example of Brett Favre going to play Monday Night Football or something after his dad died. And it's like, okay, first of all, that's one situation one dude chose to do.
Apples to grapes.
Right. Apples to quinoa. Is what somebody tweeted, like, what is he going to do? Like, his dad is dead. What is he like? What is he
about to protest?
Yeah, he were protesting his dead dad's grave. Like there was no injustice that happened to Brett Favre.
Mm-hmm.
Dad died somewhat independent of anything Brett Favre. If that's the case, anybody that loses a parent or loses a kid or loses a cousin, you're equating them not playing or playing to a whole systemic issue.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it comes to show that as a black person that's played sports, that has white friends, that cares about his white friends, you cannot just be, I have a black friend and I'm cool to black people and that's
No.
enough. If I'm just looking at a lot of white friends that I have right now, and it's just letting me know where they truly are in this situation, period, flat out. You don't have to be texting me and calling me every single day, asking me how I'm doing, but it's how you choose, who you choose to be around, who you choose to comfort in times of need, who you choose to talk to and discuss and try to inform yourself. That's what's most important to me. And I'm seeing a lot of motherfuckers walking around as if nothing's happening. Not even taking the time to connect with each other. And
it's a luxury that they get to live.
Right, it's a luxury. Because even me, I'm a black person who, shit, as far as household income, I do fine. When I'm not fired, I'm do fine. I have a nice fucking brand.
We all have college degrees, like all that.
One, two. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? But I still deal with this shit every single day. So what else I got to do? I got to make twice. I got to make $300,000. I got to make, what I'm saying? What else do I have to fucking do to be safe from it? It's not a lot of money to be safe from.
Nothing. Not be black.
That's it. That's it. That's the only thing. Like it's just a clear, in my opinion of it all. We can move on to the sports after this, or we can continue talking. I don't care. But my opinion is there's a lack of a desire to understand where other people are coming from, which is why people shoot off the mouth and say shit. The oppressor does not try to understand why someone feels oppressed. If someone is saying, hey, this is what is happening to me, and the first thing out of your mouth is, no, it didn't.
How you know?
Okay, period, right? And that means to me that you're not open and willing to understand.
Yep.
You're not trying to come to this, or in that space of not being open and willing to understand, you're not able to be of value to dismantle or to help or to support people who are in those situations. So therefore, I have nothing for you. If you don't want to understand, baby, move the fuck out my face. And
preach.
That is how I feel about a lot of different people that I've come across during this pandemic, specifically from colleagues to quote unquote friends to whatever. Like it's just a very blanket, like, get the hell out of my face.
2020 is revealing a lot, and it's making it easier to sort and remove people. So,
and it's just making my life so much fun.
It's been the easiest year to be like, well, we're not really cool like that anymore.
Bye.
Oh my gosh.
And somebody said even Brian Urlacher has like a mixed kid or something. So
yeah,
people just be running their mouth. I'm telling you,
you're an ally, or
yeah,
let me that you're a fucking ally, bro. And like I said, it goes back to who the fuck you really, and it even goes back to even sexual preference, LGBTQ issues. It's all the same shit. Like, if you are a part of a space of people that aren't being oppressed, and oppressed people are talking about the oppression, as much as even if it doesn't feel comfortable, even if I don't want to do the extra work of figuring out people's fucking pronouns, they have it. They want to go by this fucking name for some reason. You know, there's no reason for them to be like, you know what, I'm about to just say my name is they and thy and thou because I want to fuck people up when I order coffee. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being funny about it, but it's the truth. Yes, is it harder for me, an extra step I got to take to fucking call somebody up at a comedy show or meet them for lunch? Yeah, and it's not.
But it's nothing deep.
Right. But how much is it really going to fucking affect my day?
Not at all.
To respect somebody.
Yeah.
To respect someone. How, right. And that's where it lies. There's a lack of respect. There's a lack of just overall a value to life when it comes to that. And so
I think a bird just flew into my window.
The world's ending. This is
I mean, that's what they said. The locust said, motherfuckers, y'all getting boiled or something? I'm about to get some balls. I don't know. This is just getting.
Yeah, but like, it just really blows me that some folks really just refuse to identify, like, let me shut the fuck up for a little bit and understand for a little bit. And
No,
everything is
way too idyllic.
And also, everything's not about politics. The liberals and the conservatives. Some of it's just right and wrong. A lot of us right now don't fuck with Republicans, and if we had to talk about everything we don't fuck with Democrats, we could do that too. But it just so happens that right now, Republicans, from a face value, are being a lot more arrogant in their fucking bigotry.
Absolutely, because the Republican Party itself makes sense. Like the Republican Party, they make sense outside of all this fuckery that's been happening recently over the last few years. But the Republican Party as a party makes sense, right? If I'm rich as hell and I'm making all this money, I don't want you to tax me a whole big bunch of money, and so that it makes sense. I'm not debating that. I'm saying that morally it's kind of fucked up for the rest of America, but it makes sense for you to feel that way and to vote that way and all this stuff. The other shit that's happening outside of that, I don't really know about. Y'all doing your own thing, and obviously you're fucked up. But like you said, the problems with the Democrats, problems with Republicans, and right now Republicans they just said, let me light all these fires. I'm gonna put all these fires on. I'm gonna just light them all up, and now here we are.
Yeah, it's an interesting time. I know it's been 2 weeks since we talked, so I've been kind of just really trying to figure out how I feel about a lot of shit, and most of it has really just been coming down to like, damn, people that you thought you was cool with, you really, and even some niggas too that I'm looking at, I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like niggas,
a lot of black people are a lot more conservative than you think they are.
Yeah, bro. Even young cats too. Like, for me, I get it. When I was young, freshly coming out of school, playing football, I wasn't sure of myself, of what I was going to be as from a success, a career, everything. You just don't know when you're young. Like it's almost like trying to go to the league, but it's like fresh out of school, you don't, especially if you don't come from just a family business that's going to be, whatever. You're trying to figure something out. You don't know, like, am I going to be someone that can afford a car and an apartment by themselves? Like, I don't know. So you try to put yourself in these little buckets to try to identify with, like, oh, I want to be a tech dude, or I want to be known as the fucking artistic guy. I want to be known as this and that. And you can see some of these people in the content they put out via Twitter or Instagram, whatever. It's like, bruh. And then myself, who's kind of gotten over that hump and starting to settle a little bit more, not a lot, but a little bit more into where I'll probably be, hopefully, the rest of my life. It's like, you can tell this person don't really mean that. Like, you tweeting about fucking stocks and bonds and capitalism and fucking all this kind of stuff. It's like, bro. And I've done it and I did it. So it's not like I'm trying to like shit on people, but it's just like people try to like posture themselves in these little buckets of like, I'm the professional, yada, yada, yada. Like, nigga, you don't talk like that.
Everybody's got to have their online persona.
That ain't you, bro. And I don't know. It's just been very, very interesting to see how niggas act and who they align themselves to. And, we all know there's always been, not to say everyone's a coon, but some of these coon niggas at the RNC talking about Donald Trump and this and Herschel Walker's. It's like, bro, who gives a fuck about what Herschel Walker has to say?
Look, they needed a couple of black faces up there.
Not to sound like Fox News just with like shut up and dribble, but like that's like, who gives a, like, come on, like, bro, Herschel Walker was fighting MMA when he was 50. Like,
hey, bro, Herschel Walker's probably pulled in some votes for some of them down south Georgia folks.
I would trust Herschel Walker to give me directions to the bathroom. Fuck Herschel Walker. Torrance, weekend news update. I'm sorry. Did we already get to that?
Well, we did.
Started it.
We did news.
Sports. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The pro sports, everyone is striking for.
Everyone was striking.
Well, everyone was striking at some point for a day or two, for making statements about Black Lives Matter, and I believe his name Jacob Blake,
yes,
who was gunned down. Mad respect to the NBA, especially the WNBA, who has always had always been vocal about their stance on social issues. Super shout out to them. You said the NFL, like what they do? like practices. They
Some
just
of them cancel practice.
Mhm.
Kind of speak about to kind of have. It's tougher. I won't say it's tougher, but NFL is a lot less of a liberal organization, and it's a lot more players. So one LeBron, it would need to be like 5 starting quarterbacks to equal the power that LeBron had, at least, or Kawhi has, because there's so many more players on a roster. It would have like every starting quarterback would have to say something for it to equate with what LeBron and like Kawhi does.
No, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's just, I think it's, even though, a lot of people were commenting like this didn't solve anything, this didn't do anything, this didn't do whatever. I did see a lot of those, but I don't know. From my stance, it's I didn't expect them to do anything at all.
It's not their job to.
And it's not
That's
their
the
job.
other thing.
Right? Yeah, it's not like they have to do these things. It's not something that these organizations, these billion-dollar organizations, have to do.
Yeah, I would have loved for them to just like been like fuck it and actually like not have played the playoffs anymore. I think that would have been like a wild, like planting a flag in the ground type of thing.
Yeah.
And like truly, especially in the league, like if LeBron left the bubble, what was the NBA gonna do?
It would have been tough.
Since the Lakers and the Clippers wanted to leave, like if LeBron has been like, meh, I'm done, and just walked out, what would the league have realistically done? You know what I mean? Like it would have been interesting to see, but I do think that it was like an amazing step. Like the Bucks were able to get the lieutenant governor of Wisconsin on the phone and talk to him about like some very tangible actions. And I believe all of the NBA arenas are going to be polling locations in November. So we've seen some tangible actions come out of it, which is very good to see. Hopefully they're able to keep some pressure up on the owners of the teams, because they're the ones that have like the real power and the capital and political connections to make real change. I mean, yeah, LeBron and some of the players were able to get Obama on the phone, but Obama's not like running the country anymore. So the owners are the ones who I hope more of the onus gets put on to kind of keep the ball moving here. But
also,
it was definitely like a day, like a record scratch.
Let's talk about that. Who do people own in these these organizations and these teams, and
Kelly
their
Loeffler's
values and their shit? You know what I'm saying? So like, I get it. I think it's a great step. I think in my opinion, nothing will change until there are more people who are who represent the teams.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like visually, socially, you know what I mean? Like just morally and generally.
Yeah. So, I feel like what they did, in my opinion, was the best thing they could have done in this situation. Stop work until you get your demands met. And Charles Barkley said this in TNT, and I think I kind of agree with it. He said they have leverage, but they don't have power.
Correct.
And from a sense of, LeBron's not the governor of, California, but he has leverage to get things done. And so, even though it was really only a couple-day work stoppage, that's millions and millions of dollars being not being used and moved from advertising to TV spots and substituting and then pushing this other shit back. And that stuff, Kyle knows even better than I do. That's a lot of money that wasn't exchanged in transactions for them not playing those 3 games in one night. It's a lot of money. So, and it's somewhat of a butterfly effect after that for the next however long to like recoup and adjust things.
Yep.
So I feel like them getting something objective out of it, I think we all kind of had a little bit of a deep sigh when they went back to work. But in my opinion, when they did say, we're doing these whatever things, it made me at least feel better that, okay.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen it last a little bit longer, but I'm very glad that they got something out of it.
In the middle of the playoffs, in the middle of the playoffs, they said, we're going to fucking do this. Maybe if it was, the preseason or before the season started or middle of the regular season.
Yeah, dog days of the season.
You know what I'm saying? We're on 2-week strike. Or they've done, strikes before, but whatever, lockouts.
Lockouts.
That's not really super unnormal, but I'm still proud of them. Fuck it.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I appreciate them standing up people shit on Bron and say he was acting this or that way in the bubble. And I don't know. End of the day, we're all kind of stressed out, so we're all gonna make it.
And on top of like everything that they're dealing, like they're also dealing with all the racism in the country. Like their millions don't shield them from that. And then also like especially for these pro athletes, like they're living in the bubbles away from their families. Like those are very ridiculous stressors that are like added on top of them. So to then put the onus of supporting and upholding our whole race and trying to move that forward and solve racism, it's a lot. So shout out to them doing the thing.
Weeks at a time. All that shit. I mean, the whole Paul George situation, like this nigga had 3 bad games and everybody's like, scrub. And it's like, first of all, it's 3 games or really maybe only 2 games. And like my nigga, like
it's Paul George.
Kind of. Maybe I just don't feel fucking good, And it's some of those things where like people often forget.
Yeah.
Expect people to be perfect, but shout out to sports, shout out to activism, shout out to Kenny Smith too for being
and walking out.
Yeah.
I appreciate so much, and there was somebody else that did something. I appreciate these old heads, and not even old heads that are like 70 and 80s, but these guys that might have grew up in the late 80s, 90s, early 2000s that are still at this point able to put us on game. Like we need those guys just as much too, because they're ones that help get us to this point where we're at. They helped build the LeBrons and social media age, and they taught us how to play these games and how to make these jokes and everything else. So it's really refreshing to hear these guys that the 45 and up kind of group really put us on game.
Or even like how they were saying that Michael Jordan talked to a couple of like the top players and like got their like what they wanted to get from the owners out of it, so he could be like the voice of the players in the owners only meeting or whatever. So it's like stuff like that is like great to see from the elder mid-age statesmen of the alumni of the NBA or whatever.
And that's as a community of niggas, that's what we need. We can't just rely on a bunch of old head. Dick Gregory's not here anymore. A lot of these ain't here anymore. A lot of these cats are dying, or they're just fucking tired.
Yeah, it's time for they've passed the torch.
Right.
So yeah, it's their time to rest.
Because this is the first generation of niggas that's rich. Some of those guys that were athletes or entertainers or whatever, they made a little money here and there, but they weren't Michael Jordan rich or LeBron rich.
Yeah.
Or, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy rich. Red Fox was broke when he died. But these niggas were rock stars. Rock stars. And they got tens of millions of dollars to make shit shake.
Yeah.
So,
We'll see how it goes.
What else is going on?
In entertainment, Terry Crews said, boycott Magic City, no more strippers for you.
Was this random or because I have his name muted? I think that's all people talking about it, and I want to make sure I went back and blocked him so he'll never pop up on my timeline again. But like, what was the impetus for this? Was there one?
Terry Crews just said
He's just randomly thinking about Magic City on a random Tuesday afternoon.
I mean, I didn't see any context behind it. I didn't see anyone say, have a thread for Magic City and then Terry Crews.
I haven't seen anybody talk about Magic City since Lou Will went there for chicken wings.
So maybe that's why he's saying it.
When Lou Will went there.
Ew, what is that?
Was that macaroni in a pot?
I will slap the block off of you, boy. What the hell was that?
Turn the volume up on the soundboard.
I'm sorry.
That is nasty.
Should never gave Danny a soundboard.
Nothing at all. Jesus. So Terry Crews has said it. I don't know why Terry Crews still be talking.
I thought I had blocked him, but I hadn't. Everyone, just do yourselves a damn favor and block that man. Just block him. I'm really upset though. I was thinking about this a couple of days ago. It's like I don't know how I'm going to feel about this when I'm just gonna ignore you, Daddy. When Brooklyn Nine-Nine comes back. Like, I don't know.
How I'm going to support this stupid.
Ugh, that was nasty.
I can
Don't ever
kind
play
of
that
hear it,
again.
but like it's not 100%.
Yeah, it was a
We gotta
little bit. But
work.
don't
We
play
gotta
that
practice.
again. I don't want that on my earphones. No,
Um,
thank you.
No, I was gonna make a joke about having macaroni in the strip club. Who brought macaroni in the VIP section? That's gonna be my running
In the
joke.
private room.
However long. No, yeah, it's weird. I think that's another example of niggas who was just like, bruh, why are you so anti-black?
Mm-hmm.
And even potentially anti-women. Because we also gonna talk about OnlyFans here in a second. But as niggas, once again, as uncomfortable as it may be, how could we ever, or why are we hating on women earning a living, bro?
Right. Who
Like,
cares?
yeah, I'll be lying to say that a strip club isn't, you're not looking at people in a sexualized way. You are,
Mhm.
but oftentimes just nothing physically happened between a lot of people and the strippers.
Mhm.
And these people are at times supporting themselves in that way. And if you really want to be like super devil's advocate, what's the difference between them and a bodybuilder? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if it ain't fucking hurt, people talk about sex workers, right, and all that kind of shit. And I'm like becoming somewhat indifferent to it. Like, if a chick can safely do the fuck she want to do to support herself, if she wants to
Go off, sis. Get your coins.
and support herself, I'm not gonna hate on her for it. To be honest.
Mm-mm.
I love that stance.
Honestly, I look at the screenshots of some of them OnlyFans balances and I get a little jealous.
Right. I think it's fair to say, do I want my girl to be a former sex worker, or do I want my daughter to be one? No, and I think that's fair for me to say. But if she
Realistically
did
speaking,
become that person,
yeah,
I'm gonna disown.
I'm right there with you.
I can't. I just feel like us as niggas or as a society have to maybe focus on a little bit more of what's actually important. And even though stuff makes us uncomfortable, you have to be willing to be like, you know what? It could be a lot worse. If
This does not mean
It's
a
not
damn
that
thing
deep.
to my life. People who are on the OnlyFans, who are out here doing a thing, showing their bodies, having sex, doing whatever they want to do, baby. I go to sleep and I go to bed, wake up, same way. If you didn't, then you didn't do it. So like,
Plus,
to me,
it's like, why are we worried about the oldest profession in the world?
the oldest number.
Right.
Please don't get me started on that.
It's just digitized now. That's all.
So first, let me say, Bella Thorne, she apologized to people on OnlyFans, sex workers who are getting their money from the OnlyFans.
So can you give background on what she did?
Yeah. So Bella Thorne, she basically told people that she had a naked photo of hers and charged people $200.
And she's an actress, for those of you who don't know her.
Yeah, so Bella Thorne is an actress. Don't really know her like that, but whatever. She charged people $200 to see a naked photo, a nude photo. And when they paid the $200, it was not nude. She was not naked. And basically, she lied to them. So people were going to OnlyFans like, I want my money back because this is what she said and this is what we got and it's not that. So she lied and da-da-da-da. So now what OnlyFans has done is they've done restrictions on how much you can pay for pay-per-view. So it's only a maximum of $50 for pay-per-view, and it's a maximum of $100 that you can send to
tips, right?
Tips, $100 in tips. So basically, people were sending hundreds and hundreds of dollars to people. There's some balances. People are making $100,000 a month on this OnlyFans shit.
Comedians that are doing it
that are doing their thing, and I'm jealous of the hustle. Honestly, if you're talking about it,
absolutely.
The debt is, funds are low, debt high. Like we're out here. Let's weigh this shit. So for me, I don't know. I support people who are doing what they have to do to survive in this world because at the end of the day, there are people at the top, there are people in the church, there are people all over the place who are doing it. They're behind closed doors.
That's the thing.
Bro, exactly. Like y'all are fucking tripping about sex, and sex is something that everybody thinks about / does. No matter what, like it is the most It is how life exists, really, truly. So the fact that
Literally.
people are so taboo about something that when you close your door, you watching your porn. You're gonna watch your porn, but you're gonna be mad at the people who are doing it. But yet you can't watch your porn at night and then get mad at people who are doing these things in the daytime. Like y'all are
you
just
saying porn?
motherfuckers. Yeah, watching their porn.
Pone. Oh,
Watching
okay.
their porn. They over there watching
Yeah,
their porn on the internet.
Money up, but also I think a lot of, even going back to the people talking about the WAP videos and stuff, it's just really, it's weird because one dude was tweeting like, when I accidentally watched this video, I was like, bro, stop.
You
Just
didn't
stop.
accidentally watch anything.
Accidentally watched the whole video. Shut your stupid ass up.
Right.
As soon as she said wet ass pussy, you should have known what it was about.
As soon as
ass up.
there's some holes in this, as soon as that came on, the first line.
He said, "Oh, I accidentally watched the whole thing, and I was mortified."
I didn't accidentally go watch Miley Cyrus's video for her shit that came out. Like so how are you? If you don't follow this chick, how you just? So long story short, it's a lot of creepy. Look, going back to the president of Liberty, did we talk about that already?
No, we briefly talked about him a while ago, but not the most recent updates. No.
Yeah, he was like somebody was fucking his wife or something. He was watching. He's a
he was doing some cuck stuff.
Yeah, he's a president of Liberty. Probably the
ultra Christian right wing church school
in Virginia, maybe?
Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
The president of the school resigned or whatever because he was watching his wife get her back blown out by some other dude, and just in the corner watching.
Wild.
Some freaky shit.
But that's the thing, like
a lot of this is creepy. Like it'd be some of the people that are doing the creepy shit that are so picky. If you could go on and say, look, let these girls, if someone's single and they want to have consensual sex and give them money for it, so be it. Am I gonna do it if I was single? No. But if somebody fucking wanted to do it, and
not my cup of tea, but y'all go right ahead.
Right. And someone wants to you gonna fly somebody out to do it and whoop-de-whoop and they safe and you're safe. It's not gonna change my fucking life, bro. What is the difference between them? It's so many people that's putting fentanyl, cocaine, and killing motherfuckers. So what are we talking about? There's so many different random moral.
It's always strange where people decide to draw their moral stake in their line in the ground. Like it's
not real.
It's so arbitrary. Real. It's not based on anything. Some stuff they let slide, which is the exact same as stuff they don't let slide. People are stupid.
I hate conversation.
And I think it's okay to be not maybe your preference isn't something, you might not want something in your house or something a part of your life, but to pass judgment amongst people to be like, this person needs to be prosecuted or canceled or whatever words you want to use,
or how people would report girls selling pictures on Snapchat to the IRS. That was a thing last year. People weirdo dudes would screenshot girls saying that they made XYZ online, selling pictures or whatever. They're like, I'm gonna send this to the IRS now. It's half the time they're filing 1099s legit contract business off all this shit now. People
BlackBerry Messenger
will figure this stuff out to a T, and I support it. Get your coins.
Please, I don't know. I feel like you said, people have different, whatever their moral compass is. Most people's moral compasses are fucked up because it's all about other people, and it has nothing to do with themselves and what they're doing in their day to day. They're just worried and they're upset because they're probably jealous. I think in my mind, when it comes to those sort of things, people are jealous deep down, subconsciously, really upset that you're not making as much money.
Absolutely.
Like me, I'm gonna tell you, my moral compass, I guess it ain't like that, but I'm jealous. Jealousy is real. Okay, I saw somebody say, just reactivated my OnlyFans, and I made $27K this month, and I paid off this, and I bought that, and I was like, you made $27,000 in a month. 6 months later, oh yeah, I bought a Rolls Royce. Cash, and I was like, damn. 6 months later, I'm like, okay, well, if I carry this here from my savings to my checking, then I gotta
execute transfer.
Okay, execute withdrawal. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it don't add up when people are figuring out how, because that's what it's about. Like, living in America, it's about money. Like, happiness comes from money here. Like, people say money can't buy happiness. Like, honestly,
But they would never go back to being poor. They would never choose to be poor.
Never say, hey, I'm gonna give my millions away so I can go back and do, like, yes, money brings quote unquote problems or whatever, but it's about who you are with your money.
I'd rather have rich people problems than broke people problems.
Exactly. Rich people problems. Let's talk about it. Let me see it first. Let me feel it.
let me lay my eyes on it.
Let me feel it first so I can tell you whether or not, because I promise you it's about who you are as a person and how you handle your money and how you handle your business. Because ain't no way in fuck shit. You mean to tell me that somebody making, millions of dollars a year is having worse problems than someone who is making $20K, $25K, $27K supporting a family? You can kiss my ass.
I think it's how you, like you said, it's who you are and how you position your life. Because you could also have make $1 million and have $5 million lifestyle, and it's damn near the same.
Stupid.
But if you're making $1 million or a couple million, and you live in even an $800,000 lifestyle, and you really doing, because you can do a lot with fucking 800.
Yeah,
a lot of Telfair bags and all kind of bullshit. But I don't know what we're talking about. But yeah, shout out to everybody. I feel like we just gotta mind our fucking business to a degree.
Yes,
absolutely,
to a high degree, to a high key.
It will make life so much easier. And
even if it doesn't make you feel comfortable, especially when it's not your fucking house.
You worried about that?
It's a fucking stranger, and you don't know.
That's over there.
Whatever they do doesn't affect your money, your pockets, or even barely your industry. And like Kyle said, you can mute niggas. When I learned to just like, I can just unfollow you. When I started doing that shit, and you realize how much you don't miss somebody's annoying ass voice.
Yep.
Oh, bro, that changed.
Bye.
I'll see you when I see you. What else is up?
R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
That was a very hard thing to experience.
This one fucked me up, bro.
Yeah.
This one really did fuck me up.
I think he was the first, not the first, but like over this time, like a celebrity that passed that I was like, okay, I'm like bawling at this point. Like I'm actually crying at this point.
I had to log off as like this was like very like Kobe like for me. It was like the shock of it, and just like needing to like get off social media, like not look at my phone, just kind of just like sit with it. And I like considered watching Black Panther last night or one of his other movies, but I was like, honestly, it's too soon for me to even do that. Like
I'm gonna cry. And
I went and watched the third installment of the How to Train Your Dragon like franchise movie from DreamWorks.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I need like some children's shit that's very relaxing, lighthearted,
anything,
nothing serious. So like,
absolutely.
I've barely been on social media this weekend. I was like, it's too much, too much.
That one was tough. It was tough to see it be so sudden, but it was also inspiring to see. We made jokes about Chadwick playing every Black person. Almost, it's truly somewhat of a poetic justice that he did. We had so much of him,
yes,
in different settings, that the name Chadwick Boseman is going to be tough for that name to ever die, for him legacy to ever die. Because we saw Chadwick in so many different fucking. We saw Brown at this time. We saw him in Jackie Robinson during this.
He was at Thurgood Marshall.
We saw him in we saw him in 21 Bridge, all these different kind of the Five Bloods, which is my best Black fucking movies made this year easily, if not in the past couple of years, to be honest with you. And so it's just like, damn, man, this dude and did all of this on top of a diagnosis that was very serious.
Most people would pack it in at that point, but he did
and he was doing
6, 7, 8 movies within that 4-year span.
6 months ago.
It was definitely commendable.
And also, I'm gonna say this: because I saw a lot of people, not on my timeline. I saw a lot of people responding to people on my timeline. I saw like maybe a couple of things people posted about his death and the fact that he had colon cancer and how they felt like how he ain't tell nobody, how did nobody know, and all this stuff. And you know, I want to say this verbally. I didn't tweet this, but I want to say this verbally. People who are going through things personal in their lives, it is indeed just that personal. On person. Like if I want to share that, then I will share that. If I do not want to share that, no matter how famous I am, no matter how much you feel connected to me via the screen, via the social media, via the posts that I make, that does not give you access to my personal life. So, you know,
he was a very private person.
Person anyway. That was who he was.
Very
anyway,
private person.
But it also just, I think, with so much access to people and Cardi B's and the Megans and the everyone who just kind of, you know, who be on there doing lives and doing videos and doing
consistent access has got people's minds skewed.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you know these people personally when you don't. You don't know these people. It makes you feel like you're connected to them when you're not connected to them. You just know their music and you're a fan of theirs. You're not connected to them in a space where you should feel entitled to knowing business that has nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
That is yours. That is not yours, that you have to, a burden that you have to carry. Because how the fuck you going to support this man? When you in Kansas and he over, like, you know what I mean? Like, how you mad, sis? Like, relax, mind your business, figure out what's going on in your home and your family, take care of your personal business instead of worrying about other people's.
Yep.
The mind is a very strong thing, and I feel as though him not telling people, I think we were able to get a couple more years or a little more time with Chadwick, because when people, I feel like sometimes people know you're sick, we just inherently treat people.
You get treated like you're sick.
Absolutely.
To help as much as possible. And maybe that would have changed the way that he lived his life and his body would have reacted to his mental psyche. That helped him, you know, get through. And also, this is on a totally different topic of it, but it's related. A lot of people are talking about how ashamed or talking shit about people making fun of him. And as a comedian, and this might sound, I'm going to try to say this in the best way possible. We also cannot act like anytime somebody looks different or has a weird haircut or loses some weight or gains weight, that it still cannot be a point of humor. Not to like speak ill on Chadwick at all. And I'm super sad that he's died. But it was weird to see people like shit on other people when ultimately this man has passed.
It was a moment where people were trying to be the ultimate PC warrior.
Yeah. The
moral police.
Yeah.
It's not the time or place for this. How could someone that's making a joke about Chadwick or Adele or whoever the fuck looks different, changes their hair color, loses some weight, gains some weight for a role, whatever, fucking gets a tattoo? How are we supposed to ever truly like, oh, we can't make a joke because they might be going through something.
Any changes that exist, but that's what comedians talk about, right? Like, I get it.
Comedian or just regular person. So I think I don't think it's fair to be like, y'all are fucked up for making fun of Chadwick because he had lost some weight. I don't know if we were all. I mean, some of them definitely. I heard Crack Panther and all this kind of stuff, but I think the nigga looked sick. That picture that video, he looked genuine. So I
figured he had lost a bunch of weight for a role, like very fast.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
To assume like, oh, this nigga changed his whole body to a degree. He's posting something. He's probably doing something for a role and is like not afraid to show us his face.
Yeah.
So, the moral police shit. Yeah, if you say something now about, man, fuck Black Panther and fuck Jay, you're like not a good person. But to try to like blame some random 6 month ago judgment on people for making a joke, so you have no idea that this person is potentially going to die a year from now. I just can't rock with it.
Yeah, I mean, there comes a time where, like I understand. Obviously, everyone understands both sides of that sort of argument, right?
Yes.
Just being like, you never know what someone is going through.
Right. Correct.
So be cautious to the way that you talk about or whatever. Like we all understand that as it being reality. But, you know, to not speak on things that change, that are different, that are out of the norm, that are whatever, you know, that come to us naturally, to not speak on it, to not make a joke about it, whether you're a comedian, whether it's in a movie, whether you're writing about it, whether it's at a show and you're writing about the show, whatever it is, to not address it or not to speak on it. It's content. It's something that, you know, not necessarily needs to be expressed, but can be expressed because you are you know what I mean? Like you are your own person. So you can say whatever it is the fuck you want to say. There are people who say things like Dave Chappelle and people who respond to him and who are like, he's fucking wrong. He's this, he's that, he's this, you know, whatever. But Dave Chappelle, like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say and I'm going to stand by everything that I said because I said it and I meant it at the time. It is what it is. I wanted to say it, so I said it. And so even in this space, like, yes, he was going through something way tougher than anybody understood what it is. It wasn't a malicious space of like dogging him out for having whatever he was having because there was no.
I get it because you know, it goes back to high school and a kid has dirty jeans on. Like, oh, this is a dirty jean ass nigga, and it's like, well, his mother died and his dad's alcoholic and you know, to suicide last week. It's like, you know, it's like of course you get those situations, but even just not being a comedian, just as human beings that we talk about each other, your haircut, your this, your that.
It's natural human nature.
Yeah, bro, that kind of blew me because especially when the nigga's dying. Let's talk about Black Panther and Marshall instead of a week long, not even a week, 2 days of random jokes. Twitter, like, you know what I'm saying? Everything that this man has done for us, given to the world.
We can focus our energies in other places.
We're talking about 48 hours of jokes. It's just like we just
lost a hero.
Yeah, I do think one of the final movies that he finished is going to be a Netflix movie. And I saw that Denzel Washington was involved in it. I think he was like a producer maybe of it. So we'll get a little bit more of Chadwick on the big screen, which is comforting. But thoughts and prayers to his family, his fans, loved ones, etc.
Yeah, I mean, really, really tough. So
that was tough. But what else? Versus on Monday.
Yeah, versus Brandy versus Monica. Y'all don't even fucking know. Y'all don't even know how hard I'm gonna go for Brandy and Monica on this day. I mean, I don't know how y'all, if y'all are even in it, as far as like Monica fan, Brandy fan versus if this even like is a thing for y'all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna be watching.
Okay,
absolutely. Yes.
I figured more of you, Kyle, than Danny.
Yeah, 90s R&B, my shit.
Really?
Are they gonna play this back to back?
No, they shouldn't play back to back. They should probably play it together.
Yeah, like
it has to be the one they play together.
Because some of the more recent verses have been like, "This isn't a battle. This is a celebration of everyone."
But I'm gonna tell you what,
Brandy
and Monica,
they
I'm
don't.
expecting a battle, B.
They don't really.
Battle.
They had bad energy.
Apparently, there was apparently, you know, years ago, someone said like, "Oh, they went to go on stage for some award show to do The Boy Is Mine." And right before they went on stage, Monica punched Brandy in the face. And then they went out there and went on stage and recorded to make their money.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of heat. Like, I'm
shocked they got I didn't think that this would be a versus that would actually be able to get done. Like, just because of like the history of beef that these two have with each other or whatever.
I'm telling you, Gunica.
Yes.
Oh yeah, when Angel of Mine, come on. I'm excited. I'm excited for this one.
I'm excited for Gunica. I think she's gonna win it. Well, for me, she's gonna win it anyway because
Gunica.
I'm a
She ratchet like that?
She's a goon, bro.
Yeah.
Don't nobody play with Monica.
Monica don't play.
Monica. Everyone loves Monica. No one gives. You can't say shit about Monica. Monica is ride or die for real. She's a true goon. they always talk about how they said they tried to do some slick shit on Gossip one time, like the gossip, the Black Gossip website or whatever. And they put like a headline that was disrespecting Monica, and Monica popped off on them niggas. Now, whenever Monica's name is in anything, it is the
greatest headlines.
It is the most straightforward headline you gonna ever find. You get no bullshit from Gossip, because Gossip is known for their ignorant ass headlines.
Gossip needs a Pulitzer for their headlines, honestly.
Honestly, truly, but they do not. If you look at Monica's,
so, but you think Monica's gonna win?
Personally, Monica wins for me. Monica has more music that is more important to me in my childhood. Like, granted, I listened to both of them, but Monica gave me more like vocal performance that I'm looking for from an artist.
I agree with that. I connect with more Monica songs than I do Brandy songs.
Yeah, like, you know, they call Brandy the vocal Bible, and it's just like, I understand why they would think that or why they would say that, but she's not necessarily. I like her control over her voice is fantastic, Brandy. But I'm going for Gunica.
Ray J makes an appearance.
I hope not, because Joe deducted 2 points. Sorry, I'm playing. I'm looking forward to this battle. This is going to be a great, you know. Hopefully a pick me up to the week, and
good way to start the week. Really
great way to start the week. I'm hoping
it's a great cultural thing that they're doing versus, and I hope they can find a way to even expand it, you know, beyond just even whether it's a crowd, whether it's concerts with live, you know. I don't know how
I'll be interested like how this works, like when the world opens up a bit more,
right?
And like what that experience could be like or whatever. But I love that platform regardless.
You know, it could be like well-produced TV shows, Netflix that drop, you know, I don't know, whatever, you know, Tidal or whatever. I don't know. I guess they already have Apple, but not Tidal, but Revolt. I don't know. I think they could do a lot with this. And this is the kind of shit, even though it's the 20th one or whatever, like we're still talking about it. Not as much as the other ones. But if they get the right people.
I think people are going to tune in for this one, though.
Yeah,
I think people are going to tune in.
Because even when they were supposed to have a festival here and they got canceled because of Corona, and allegedly Monica and Brandy were like going to be there, everybody was like, does Monica know? Does Brandy know?
Yeah.
That they in the same festival together? Like, do they know that they on the same stage? Like, the fuck? So I'm quite ecstatic for this. I cannot wait. This is going to
Yeah,
that's tight. But we'll get into our first sponsor break. This podcast is brought to you by all the Black legends, every Black legend that we have not given our flowers to ever. This podcast is brought to you by old uncles, OGs, niggas that drank beer out of paper bags and asked for $5 in gas.
Sir.
This is for y'all.
Sir. So do y'all have any Black legends that y'all want to give some flowers to?
I feel like a lot of us have, I mean, we talk about it. This is kind of a low ball. We'll probably go do a couple rounds of this. But I really feel like Nipsey, man, the things that Nipsey was doing, I think that hurt the culture a lot. I think when I think about some people that we lost too early, you know, Nipsey was one of them. And then, you know, Chadwick now is like a different lane, different reason. And it still feels unsettling, but it feels a little bit more settling than someone getting shot in the head in front of their children. I think that Chadwick could have done, you know, to avoid that to a degree.
Yeah.
The things that Nipsey was, you know, the music he was putting out, I'm not going to say I was a Nipsey Hussle fan from day one, but his last album, and then even some of the features that he's putting out, like he has one with Big Sean that just dropped, and his clothing brand, like that's the future and the blueprint of being a musical artist in 2019, 2020 and beyond. And the merch, the touring, the music, that's how we're going to have to survive.
Or even just the societal impact that he had on his neighborhood and stuff like that.
Podcasts, things he was promoting, things talking about being of this certain upbringing, but still being about fucking uplifting niggas. Like that was the kind of shit that we could really could have, as a community, continued to grow on. So that's like my first submission is Nipsey.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Loretta Devine, actress for so many decades. I thought of her because she was in last week's episode of P Valley, excuse me. And I think that she's been in so many amazing TV shows and movies over the years. Like she is that black auntie, like that black mama for our generation. You know, that high pitched Southern drawl voice that she has, kind of it's iconic. So yeah, that's my first one.
Yeah. Mine is. I mean, I don't know if as far as we've acknowledged the impact, I guess that Whoopi Goldberg, like,
I don't think so.
I don't think that's.
I don't think so.
I don't think that Whoopi has gotten her.
That's someone who deserves some.
I think like the stuff that she did in like the 80s and like early 90s, like it really goes
change the game. If you watch,
I think because it's pre-digital, it really she doesn't get her full shine. Like people know her for what, The View nowadays.
The View now, yeah. So she's on The View now, and she's done other stuff, but her acting, like I was watching, you know, my aunt, I grew up, she was a huge Whoopi Goldberg fan. And so we had all kinds of just old Whoopi Goldberg VHSs that were in there that were hilarious and that were great. Like I just, something about Whoopi Goldberg and also like how she paved the way for so many after her, and like the way, how she's produced so much, how she's just, God, Whoopi Goldberg.
Sister Act and Sister Act 2. That's all you could have said, and we could have ended it there.
Touche.
What did she have the EGOT, or she like
does.
one short?
Whoopi got an EGOT. Nope,
okay.
She has the EGOT.
She's like one of like 12 or 15 people that have the EGOT or something like that. I think the number is
so much.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, another one for me is Lynn Whitfield.
That's a good one.
Love Lynn.
She actually got covered on that Netflix Strong Black Lead podcast that highlights
she did?
That like gives flowers, kind of like what we're doing right now. There was an episode with her that was really good, actually.
Yeah, I love Lynn. Lynn is bomb. Like as far as like black, just auntie, mother, kind of just like that role. Like Lynn gonna give you a performance. You gonna feel what you have to say. So I love passion that she brings for sure.
Couple. I know, beside the anti-Semitism, Nick Cannon, I feel like Nick Cannon, as cheesy as he is, and you know, for someone to be not really a good rapper, not really a good, mediocre actor, probably a better actor than that, or I'll say not a really good comedian, stand-up comedian, like not great stand-up, not a great actor, I'm sorry, not a great rapper.
He's a good entertainer. He has decence
overall
in different pockets.
Like, super profound at any specific thing, but to still be extremely impactful. That's inspiring to me and interesting to me. I think he might just now be 40. It's like, damn, nigga, like to have been this famous this long, and you know, to have a very minimal, pretty much being a child star, like pretty much being a child star and like not really folding to a degree beyond, like, you know, we all have slip ups and have to be informed and stuff. Like a major person and figure in Viacom and have TV shows and put niggas on from Wild and Out, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's crazy, man. And you know, to do that at such a young age, a lot of cats. And kind of to my next person, Joe Budden, you kind of just now get to this point. I was like, all right, I'm about to take that next leap into my, like, you know, decade or so in the business. But this nigga doing that kind of shit when he was in his mid-20s.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But Joe Budden, listening to his podcast, a lot of people that are this way, we tend to look at them like they're crazy. But it's that real, true, what I own is what I own, entrepreneurial shit. A lot of these companies are trying to steal from me. And if I know my value, there's nothing that they could ever pay me to take what I own from me. And he talked about that a lot on his last couple of podcasts with them leaving Spotify. And it's like, you look at people that are making a lot of money, but if something were to happen, they can't go and just take what they own and do something with it. they got to ask for permission. They got to, if a sample comes, they don't even know the fucking song's coming out with their voice or whatever. They don't own what the fuck they recorded. And as an artist, that seems like such a
To not
difficult
own your IP.
thing to do. It just doesn't feel good. Could you imagine putting your blood, sweat, and tears into something, and then you don't even have the ability to at least pick and choose kind of how it's presented and stuff?
It's on a remix for Lil Duke.
You wouldn't even be able to use like the name of your podcast like to sell merch. Like
Right.
that's like how like these like Spotify exclusive deals are working, or like when Spotify buys Gimlet Media for like their podcast library, like because the Nod is going through that with like Gimlet and Spotify right now with their podcasts or whatever. So that's a really good one. My next one is Kenan Thompson. Kind of similar to you, Danny.
He was on
he's
my
been in the
list.
game for forever, for our entire childhoods, like growing up with him on all that, and then him going over to SNL and being the longest running cast member at SNL. I just saw today he has a new show that's been ordered.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been ordered to series or if it's the pilot that was ordered, but it's going to be a new sitcom that's going to be on NBC. And so just seeing like another black face on a like legacy network cable station is like just an amazing thing to see, and for him to be in his, I'm assuming kind of similar to Nick in age, mid early 40s at this point, to still be doing it and to do it at this level and still get that to keep doing the work that he's doing at this high level has just been amazing. So shout out to Kenan.
Yeah, he was on my list, so I gotta go to my next one. Gabrielle Union. She has a very long, extensive career in sitcoms and movies, and I think that she will never get what she deserves from like the Grammys and the Emmys, in my opinion. And she has done so much. I think she's a very amazingly talented actress and has played so many different roles that have, we've all kind of grew up around, her being in shows and movies and things, unbeknownst to us, or not even realizing the impact of it. But I'm a huge Gabrielle Union fan, and I believe that she deserves all of these flowers, and she, still has so much to go within her career. But at this point, it's just like, girl, like you out here. And
Yep. You got another one, Danny?
My last one, he just had the documentary pop out, but Master P. Another example, probably the blueprint of being independent and getting it out of the mud and making a huge empire. Music was, I always talk about some of that music is music that I grew up to in the car.
Yeah.
My mom was playing, and our cousins were listening to, and all this kind of stuff, and seeing music videos. I vividly remember seeing those videos and shit. Like, damn, was the one with the tank? They were in the gym.
That was the big joint. I'm blanking on the name right now, but that was like the No Limit like anthem. It's gonna bother me that I don't remember the name of that song, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and I can see the video.
But anyways, I vividly remember like when that shit coming out, and like my cousins were watching music videos on MTV and like, oh shit, mystical, and like, bro, I vividly remember that shit. So long story short, it's cool, and of course niggas gonna have shit that we think is cheesy in 2020 with rap snacks and maniatis and shoes.
But he's an entrepreneur to the fullest.
That's trying to put niggas on, man. And I can respect that. And a lot of that shit that you hear Joe Budden talking about, like, that's a lot of shit that Master P was talking about 20, 30 years ago. Like, y'all niggas, just because you white don't mean you're right. Not to sound, but just because you're in a position of power don't mean that you're fucking right.
Yeah.
And that's something that is very very much so my feelings right now during interviewing and going back into the workforce.
Yeah. My last one is Barry Jenkins. I think that Barry's films get a lot of praise. Like you always hear people talking about Moonlight, or you always hear people talking about like If Beale Street Could Talk and stuff like that. But you don't hear people talk about specifically Barry Jenkins by name enough. Like the same way that people talk about Jordan Peele and like always have his name in something, even when his name really shouldn't be in something. Like that's the way people should be talking about Barry Jenkins.
Yeah.
He's put out some amazing work, and he's like a great artist. Like if you listen to him talk about film and like just the artistry behind creating a movie and like or writing a script or something like that, it's like a really eye-opening experience just to hear someone who has such a love for the industry and the work talk about it that way. So yeah, Barry Jenkins is my last one. Also, he's a bruh, so shout out to them. 06.
Coogler too, man.
That was gonna be my other one, Coogler.
Yeah. My last one is we talked about him a couple weeks ago. Delroy Lindo.
Yes.
Uncle Delroy.
Uncle Delroy. He has been in some of my favorite movies ever. Specifically Crooklyn, and we're going to shout out to Crooklyn. But yeah, he just has had an extensive career, and it wasn't until The Five Bloods that I was like, oh my God, Delroy Lindo. Mm-hmm. I love this man. Like
that was
God.
like that was so like some serious acting. Like that was like hard ass acting. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't like a This Christmas Delroy Lindo acting job. You know what I'm saying?
It was some good stuff.
If he doesn't get an Oscar nom for that role,
I'm not.
It's rigged. Spike got the right to be mad if Delroy does not get
a nominated
for best acting role.
Yeah, pinch acting I had watched in like when you talk about anxiety, that was because a lot of us
played that role, bro.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Members that were in Vietnam or in war or whatever that are fucking kind of crazy.
Yeah. And so they don't talk. A lot of Vietnam vets don't talk about what happened in Vietnam.
Yeah,
like you couldn't pay them to talk about what happened, and that's fucking them up in the head, or like they've dealt with that shit for decades. So just to see that and like to see Black people going through that, cause that's the other thing. We don't really see Black people in war movies or whatever. So
not as the main and only. You might see like he's the
as an extra, or one Black person in the whole brigade.
Yeah, right. This one nigga. He, I'm from fucking Louisiana. I'm here to shoot a motherfucker right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I got 3
kids. That was a disgusting.
Anyways, what are we watching? Let's finish this shit out.
P-Valley. Paige and I started watching that last week. We were late to the party, but that show is amazing, y'all. We were talking about sex work. We were talking about sex work positivity earlier. Like that show does an amazing job at like painting them as like real people having real issues. It's great. There's some excellent LGBTQIA representation in there. It's a really it's well written. I can't say enough good things about it. It's an amazing show.
I'll add that to my list this week.
Definitely watch it.
Shout out to Lena Waithe getting her gay friends on TV. My nigga.
Yeah. I wasn't super blown away with the finale of this season.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, but there was no like shocker moment, you know what I'm saying, that has me like on the edge of my seat for next season. But
it was like kind of, I felt like they kind of made it so that if they did need
it could be a series finale, honestly. That's the kind of way that I went away from. I was like, this could be a series finale if it absolutely needed to be.
Oh boy, Pat, there's a lot of things that happen where it's like, where do you take this from here?
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a lot of really clear writing and thinking.
Their writer's room is going to be in for a lot of work, and I already know that Jason Mitchell and his whole can't keep his hands and his words to himself situation, getting him kicked off all these shows. I know that through like a major wrench, and they're shoving you got to kill off a main character, 2 main characters, really a whole storyline, and especially with the show that's so like all their storylines are intricately woven together or whatever.
I aspire to put all my friends on like Lena Waithe did. She said any possible way we put my friends in this shit. Like she got in it.
Yeah.
The female stripper in it. I feel like they changed the stepmom out to be like a lot more.
They recast that stepmom position. Yep.
It was something else. There's a couple other things. It was like she's like, yeah, y'all niggas come pull up. Y'all need job. I aspire to be that kind of nigga to my friend. Y'all niggas, what y'all doing next Saturday?
Learn these lines real quick.
Hey, I'm gonna see the script. We'll learn it real fast and then come on.
That in the mirror real quick and then come to Chicago.
You can still read, right?
No, yeah. So for me, I've just been watching feel good shit. It's been a hell of a couple weeks, month, whatever. So for me, it's just all been Disney Plus shit and funny ass adult like animation stuff.
Hoops on Netflix is a good like animated, witty, irreverent humor show. It's a
grown
quick watch
ass show. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't say adult animation. I should probably say grown ass stuff because that could be taken the wrong way. But yeah, just like funny, vulgar stuff, or like children's funny stuff, cute little things. I just been watching a lot of Disney Plus, a lot of stuff because also coming up, Sister is going to be on September the 1st. So on Tuesday, coming out. I'm quite excited. Can't wait to rewatch that because that
should be good. That was a great. I used to love watching that as a kid. That was a great show. Go home, Roger.
Speaking of Roger, we need to talk about Roger real quick, real fast. But if you listen this far, Chad, you got a little thing. Roger, Marcus, a.k.a. Marcus Houston, married his 19-year-old fiance.
Oh, I heard about that like a month or two ago. Is there something new with that? Or just in general? I
think it just came out. At least for me, it did.
No, like I heard about this like at least like a month and a half ago.
They were together. I think they maybe got engaged.
Engaged, yeah.
Yeah, but now they got married.
Oh, they hitched the wagon finally.
Maybe they were together right before she was 18 or around the time.
Yeah, they met each other when she was underage. I think it was like through some church stuff or something. That's what they say at least.
I think I might be I'm like 3-ish, 4-ish, almost 3-ish years older than Ashley or whatever. And it's just maybe when I'm 40, if I was single and 45 and just like horny, I guess maybe. But
I don't honestly. I'm 3 years older than Paige. Like, I don't see how people do enormous age gaps, bro. Because like, even with a 3-year gap, I'll say some stuff sometimes and Paige won't even get it. I'm like, damn, are you too young for that reference? So like, I couldn't imagine being almost 40 and dating someone who's like in their early 20s. Like, what do you talk about?
Because Marcus Houston has lived a life, bro. That nigga has been in groups, has had solo careers, has been in drama.
Once you get past like the physical like attraction phase, like that super honeymoon phase, it's like, what do you?
Right.
I just don't get it. It could never be me.
Women are more mature than dudes, but
still,
give me a 2-year head start, and I feel like we can be pretty on par.
You that immature?
Yeah, where there's
right. Yeah, I'm about immature.
Yeah, look, not my business. You do what you want to do. It isn't a crime, so do your thing. But you're pushing it. Here's the line, and you just tap dancing your ass right on that line. You playing with it, and that's fine. But yeah, that was my last thing.
Oh, also, Lovecraft Country. If you have not, episode 3 comes out this week on Sunday, aka tonight. So if you have not started that already, do it. Do yourself a favor. It's amazing.
And you need to watch. I can't wait for episode 3 tonight because I am confusion. If confusion is a person,
I watch YouTube.
Huh?
I watch YouTube afterwards and do the recaps.
I know there's like a podcast that goes along with it. I might listen to that. Like, go back and listen to that. Honestly, I might rewatch the first 2 episodes too.
I did. I had to rewatch the first episode, and I'm probably gonna have to rewatch the second episode.
They're like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and they like have pictures and stuff. Watch.
Oh, that's perfect.
Caps. And I think one that's like something spoilers or something. There's like this British dude who talks. He did it with Westworld too. because it's based off of a book. So there's certain stuff
Yes.
it's like not going to get unless you just have a little
The
bit of
base knowledge.
afterwards. So don't watch it before. It's heavy spoilers. I think that's the name of it. Watch it afterward,
I'm
like
about to
Okay.
check that.
the next morning, or if you don't watch it in the same night, watch the shit and then watch it right after, so that you can actually understand what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
But I needed that for the last couple seasons of Westworld and Lovecraft so far.
True. Final thoughts? Do we have any final thoughts?
I don't know, bro. I mean, fuck, bro.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Stay
Rest
safe.
up, y'all.
Take
Please
naps. Drink water.
Okay.
Wear your mask.
cry it if you need to cry it. Scream it if you need to scream it out.
Yeah.
Just, take care of yourselves, please.
Real niggas don't die, they just multiply. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace to everybody that's passed away during the pandemic. This is another episode of 95 Podcast. Thank y'all for listening. God bless.
Deuces.